Since our last video, right now it's only 2 days until we start our first friendly, and we have gone through a lot of stuff, a lot of exits, a lot of incomings. And today in this video, before we start a series of videos, because there's a lot of things that we have to talk about, because you know a lot of things have been happening, and at this moment I'm feeling so excited about this season, because you know the type of players that we have, the types of players that we have around Stanford, around this time in preseason, and those players that we are going to start the league with are players that you could say that this season is going to be very interesting. This is not like last season. This is not like the previous 5 seasons. This is a very different season, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I feel that I'm not trying to be like Arsenal fans, but just saying that even as we are starting this series of, because we are starting today, this series of 2025-2026 season, I think we are going to win this league. It's not a small thing to say, but I think this league, this 25-26 season is ours. And I don't want to jinx, because again, as much as a lot of things have happened so well, we have started with some mishaps. Like for instance, Colwill injury is said to run up to until the end of the season, which means we need a new CB, but we'll have to talk about that later. Other news, things are happening. There's a lot of things to talk about. But before we start, kindly subscribe before we start engaging on these topics. But today and in this video, I'm just going to talk about Estavao. I wanted to talk about this last week. I wanted to talk as early as when he released his video, or was it an interview, when he was asked about Chelsea, about him moving to London, and I feel like all of us, if you are a Chelsea fan, if you have been in this club, if you have just wanted, there's a lot of things that have happened. And this is just about how we relate to our signings. It's just how some of the signings usually talk about the club. Like you need a person to just get excited. Like you need a player, a person that you have signed, to get excited, to talk about this challenge. Not just like I'm going to work tomorrow. Like they need to talk about, like they're excited. Like you can see them. You can see somebody like Esugo smiling every time. You can see like Estavao, as he has come and these few days, smiling every time. And you see this person is happy to be here. And it's not just happiness to be here. It's just that whenever they talk about the club or this period of their life, you see like they're talking about a certain kind of change, a certain kind of excitement into playing, into being here, into learning a lot, into getting a new culture. And you feel this is different from how all these other players that we have sent in the past came and started talking, and you just feel like this is PR. This is somebody just he has been coached. Like he come here and is talking about, you see this jersey or this logo or this club, I started, and you just feel like this is the same speech that I had in 2022 when we signed this guy, that I had in 2021 when we signed this guy. And you need just somebody to be a little bit honest about the situation, honest about the part of their life, honest about the club. And even in their honesty, you can feel, you can see, you can feel like this person really wants to be here. And it's different because, first, since 2013. 2013 was when we signed Hazard. Yeah, 2013. When we signed Hazard, and it wasn't the name, but he had done a lot of things in Lille. Like he was somebody, he was not just an ordinary signing. He was a signing that you think this person is coming to create this. This is what we want. This is a different, like, yo, we have pro footballers, we have quality pro footballers, and then we have a certain caliber of players that we think these guys are different. If they're used to their maximum ability, they're going to change a certain part of how we play, or a certain part, because even at 2013 we were so used to defending, and sometimes when we sign people, you feel like, okay, this one is going to bring us some kind of excitement when I'm watching the ball. And since 2013, again, none of the signings came close to have, came close to, when he was being signed, to have that kind of excitement. It was just like we are signing people to place, or signing people to cover depth, or signing people to, because we are short on something. And we even at the time we were signing Pulisic, ZH, like Havertz, they were big names at that, but they didn't have that factor that we think this guy is very different. The only person and that had the same amount of, uh, surrounding him, the same amount of, like, a lot of people thinking that this guy is going to change this, like this is the Hazard reincarnate, was Modric. But then with him, things just fall. Like it didn't progress the way people were expected, and now people are a little skeptical on, whenever they send people, they say, like, this guy is going to change, because having seen Modric in the way you think this guy is going to be, even especially with the first game against Liverpool and how he played, and everybody was like, yeah, is really like the new Hazard. And now, even when we signed Cole Palmer, even when we signed Caicedo and everybody, it wasn't that exciting. And now with the Estavao, people feel, and this has been the same for like 2 years, because we signed him last year and he had all this, and people have been watching throughout Palmeiras games, even in the Club World Cup, and thinking, like, this guy is going to bring a different kind of game to Stamford. This guy, and everybody that has watched him, even Maresca, I think yesterday said, like, he has the same capability as Cole Palmer. And Cole Palmer is Ballon d'Or contender, among the best in the world right now. And if somebody is 18 and you're getting such shouts, you know that this guy is a serious guy. But then, as much as we are praising him, as much as we think he will be the best, there's just characters that you need to know. There's just different things that you need to know. All over the years, we have been signing Brazilian players, and we haven't signed a very big rated Brazilian guy like the likes of Neymar, the likes of, Kaká, like people who are already rated in Brazil. We were signing Brazilians. They were like, they started getting called after we signed them, as not the Thiago Silva, but people like William, Felipe Luis, Ramirez, Oscar. And you can tell, like, Brazilians always, if they're not average, if they're good, if they're like quality, they're either partying or doing some kind of shenanigans. Their life is always on the news. They're always doing a lot of stuff. If they're, you could say, average somehow, they're usually talented, but then it's just about football. Like people like Ramirez, they had nothing exciting about them that was different from how they play. Like they come, they give their all, they don't make mistakes, they play the way they are, their quality, they're doing whatever they're doing, and then ship them out. They don't have that same kind of feeling connection with the fans. With only Thiago Silva had that, and probably David Luiz. But all these other guys, they were just, average. Now we have a guy, and it's different from all these other Brazilians because Brazilians love to party, they love to be everywhere, they love to express themselves. Now you have a guy that is into Christianity, is probably will change after sometimes after the money start coming in heavily, and the girls in London start doing their thing on him, probably will change. But right now, you have a person who just loves playing football and is going to give a lot and is going to, but it's not going to be hazard. If you have seen his highlights, if you have seen the way he play, I know a lot of people, and this is going to be like a kind of disappointment, but it's not going to be an hazard. It's going to be a better, you could say, a Zola, if you have watched Zola. But if you are younger, you could say who a quicker William. I know a lot of people usually disrespect William, but when William was on his game, he was one of the most lethal forward. Now William Estavao is going to be a quicker, more swifter, a most agile William, and I don't think he's going to play every other game. He's going to be a sub for most of the games this season, because even with how Maresca plays, he doesn't want a lot of, freeing, like just, and Estevao is a person who scores, but then it doesn't score always like every other game is scoring. Now, I know a lot of people have this, you know, huge ceiling. It's like we expect you to do this shit, we expect you to do this and this and this and this, but because you have this huge expectation, is that's the reason why you always tend to hate on players, because you expect a person who was playing in PSV Eindhoven and he was not scoring 10 goals to come to Stamford and start scoring 10 goals. It can't happen. You have to be very realistic. If Estavao was not scoring more than 15 goals in, League One in Brazil, you are not expecting him to come to Stamford and all of a sudden, Premier League players are, low quality compared to League One players, defenders. Now you expect Estavao to score 15 goals. It's not going to happen. You have to cut him some slack, and you have to expect just for him to perform the way he can, especially right now. Even Yamal is scoring 6 goals and everybody's saying, yeah, shout, Ballon d'Or shouts. It's not like Yamal is a he does his own, quality stuff or his own, worldly stuff. But it's not just like he's scoring every other game. So first, you must cut some slack. You must have the right kind of expectation for players. You must have the right kind of expectation for Estavao. You must have the right kind of expectation for if Jorel Hato. You must have the right kind of expectation for Pedro. Pedro was not scoring more than 15 goals with Brighton. You are not going to expect him to score more than 15 goals just right now. Like you just give him the goal and he's scoring. I'm warning you, because the moment you have this big expectation that we have a reincarnated Drogba or a reincarnated Hazard or a person better than, at Ronaldo, that's when after some few game weeks, you start hating on players. And it's because you have very, very wild expectations. You have to stop with the expectations. And the thing is, we all have to be excited, because I'm really waiting for 10th. That's tomorrow but one, because we are going to face Bayer Leverkusen and it's going to be our first friendly. And we have only 2 friendlies, Bayer Leverkusen and AC Milan. And then we start our season. And when we start our season, we have like 6 winnable games initially. I see a scenario where we get, Maresca was not Maresca, Sari was the guy who got 12, who went 12 unbeaten, had the longest unbeaten run since the start of the league. But the people didn't like the way he played because it was not, it had zero anxious. It was not bringing that thing of, yeah, they're going to score us. Oh, we are going to score them. It was just like, we are chilled. It's constant chilling until we score. Or if we cannot score, then we draw. That's it. Anyway, today evening, I think 7 p.m. Is it 7 p.m.? 7 p.m. minus 2. It's 5 p.m. GMT. 5 p.m. GMT. I'll be having my live because I'm going to talk about the signings. You are going to see which team we are going in with to the league, and those people who are injured, the people who are those who are exiting. Right now, I think we have concluded with the incomings, except for probably still Xavi Simons is out there and Garnacho is out there. We still have around less than 20 days until the end of the transfer. But if we get those two, I think we will have concluded. We will have concluded our signings. I don't think we are going for another CP even with the transfer. I just think that we are not going to loan all the CPs that we have, but we are going to talk about that in the coming live. Anyway, good time and subscribe because we have a lot of things we have to talk about today, tomorrow, every other day, every single day. 2 videos every day. 2 videos every day. A live video after 5 GMT every day, and then a video during the day. Not anytime. It could be in the morning, it could be in the evening, it could be at night. Just talking about stuff because we have a lot of stuff. Anyway, nice time. Nice day.